Hello, everybody. This is Rufus Thibodeaux, and welcome to another episode of Promise and Purpose, where we talk about the transformative power of God's Word and how that links to us discovering our purpose and unlocking our untapped potential. And today I'm here with David Edgerton Jr. I didn't know you were a junior. I'm a junior too, but here with
Oh yeah.
David Edgerton Jr., and we're going to continue the conversation about how aligning yourself with the promises of God leads to a deeper understanding of your purpose and the potential that lies within you. So, David, man, I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me. I know you're busy negotiating $1 million deals for your clients and creating beautiful music, and you do it all.
Oh
I know
man.
that you do.
Oh man. We trying to get something going here.
Hey, that's it. That's it. That's it. So, man, I know that your time is valuable, man. So let's dive right in. So, why don't you start maybe by just introducing yourself and share a little bit about your background and the work that you do over there.
Oh, sure, no problem. David Edgerton Jr. I'm the managing principal of the DEJ Group. That is an executive search firm that I founded in 2020. Up to then, I had worked in corporate America into various roles for roughly 24, 25 years. And now I'm an entrepreneur on my own business, doing executive search for companies. So that basically means I find candidates and I match them with companies looking for executive talent. I like to say, as our tagline in my little branding up there, it says,
Yeah,
connecting diverse talent with inclusive companies. That's what we like to do. So we make
nice.
sure we get people connected that look like you and me for sure,
Yeah,
but we bring the best talent to the best opportunities at the end of the day. So that's what I've been doing for the last, oh man, looks like 3 years now, going into year
nice.
number four. It's
Okay,
been growing, going well.
good.
Uh, yeah, so that's what I do during the day, and then of course you see the equipment behind me. I'm also a
Yes.
musician, so
Yeah.
been a musician a long time, man, decades. Right now helping the church out, part time,
Okay.
and that's going really well. As as can be expected in service of the Lord. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
really excited about that.
Nice. All right. Well, yeah, I was going to talk to you about that. I saw the keywords back there, and we'll dive into that in a second. But I
Okay.
want to learn a little bit more about your sort of your personal journey. So, like, um, how have you personally dealt with, like feelings of unfulfillment or disconnection from your potential? And
Oh my goodness.
yeah, and what? Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm just to let you know, I'm bringing the heat with these questions. Okay, I'll bring the
I
heat.
saw. I saw that. I saw that.
All
I
right.
saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, what strategies have you found helpful and just, really overcoming those kind of challenges?
no problem. I think the to get into it a little
Yeah.
bit, the unfulfillment and disconnection from potential is a great question. I think that it's easy to get into that when you are doing what other people want you to do and not
Okay.
what you're designed
Yeah.
to.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure there are people in your audience out there who probably have worked 10, 20, 30 years in a job or for a company,
Yeah.
one company, right? And it's like, coming up back in the day, it was, hey, get a job, get education, go to college, get a job kind of thing,
Yeah.
and get a good job. Usually a good job was like my mom would always say, Blue Cross Blue Shield, but you pick the insurance about you pick the insurance provider, but
Right.
make sure you got insurance kind of thing.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
in doing that though, a lot of us go for what we think will work and we make our careers around that.
Yeah.
And I think depending on who you are, a majority of people have done that. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
small minority who might have said, you know what, even in building my career, this is what I'm supposed to do, and then I go do it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But a majority of us, nah. I mean, we're not doing what we went to school
Yeah.
for example. So I think that whole thing with unfulfillment disconnection was, why am I, kind of doing something that doesn't necessarily line up with who I am? I think
Okay.
it was Miles Monroe said, it might have been him,
Yeah.
but the two best days are the day you're born and the day you find out why.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
the question is that second day, the day you find out why, if that happens later in life versus
Yeah.
earlier, I think what happens there is once you figure it out, then the question becomes, well, now I got a mortgage, now I got kids in school, now I got all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I can't do what I'm supposed to do or was designed to do. So that's where I think some of that comes from. For me,
Yeah.
starting my own business was a way to actually get back on track.
Okay.
And I know that's potentially an interesting way to resolve that. But I think what happens is when I figured out what I was supposed to do, even though
Yeah.
I had been living so long, so
Yeah.
many decades, and working so long, and got degrees, all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, nah, this right here is what you're supposed to do. And sometimes what God does is when he gets tired of you fooling around,
Yeah. Yeah.
he puts you in a situation where you're forced
Yeah.
to consider it strongly. and for and listen, it's funny. For me, it
Yeah.
was 2019 when I went to work on a Monday and found out that my job had been eliminated.
Wow.
And I didn't see it coming.
Okay.
Now, two other times in my career, I saw it coming
Yeah.
and I was prepared, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a different animal. That's the
Sure.
company's not going well and they're offering packages and I took one.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
But 4:30, you walk in and they say, oh yeah, by the way, this is your last day and you can't go back to your office and your job is gone. Well, that's one way of God saying, all right, it's time.
That's definitely, it's funny. It's funny that you say that because you're absolutely right. Sometimes and the whole idea of doing something that you're supposed to do, even the
Yeah,
word
yeah,
supposed to,
yeah,
you just feel like you said, get a good job, do this, do that, work for an insurance company, whatever it is. But yeah, but
yeah.
God has a way of telling us exactly what to do. And interestingly enough, I don't know if you experienced this, but in my life, God's voice sounds a lot like my wife's voice. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but it's like, honey, is that? Oh, yeah, that is God. Okay, wait a minute. All right. So, anyway, all right, cool, man. No, I get that. I get that. So, and I want to dig into purpose and all that stuff in a second, but I want to shift gears
Oh
for
yeah,
1 second. I
yeah.
want to know, can you share a specific instance where you had, maybe struggled around applying some kind of biblical principle to your everyday life, and then, what did you do to ultimately overcome that?
Let's see, something where I struggle to apply it daily.
Yeah, just to your
Oh
daily life.
goodness,
Yeah.
daily life. Oh man, I would say, oh, I've been on a journey at least I'd say in the last year or two. I'll tell you how I got here,
Okay.
and it's one I'm actually using as my message to share with others. Um, One of the things that I noticed is that the principle,
Yeah.
the earth and everything therein belongs to God.
Yes.
Got it?
Right.
So let's use that.
Okay.
Well, when I started the company with the intention of now being what I'm supposed to be, which I thought was pleasing to God,
Yeah.
first of all, because now I'm doing what I'm designed to do. And the way that you know that you're doing what you're designed to do, first of all, the gifts that you use to do it,
Yeah.
you realize first and foremost, those gifts aren't for you.
Okay. Nice.
So you receive a gift, whether it's speaking, whether it's music,
Yeah.
whether it's teaching, and I'm not necessarily differentiating between spiritual
Oh,
gifts
sure.
and regular gifts. I'm
Yeah.
just saying they're all in this context, they all work the same way,
Right.
which is you were giving something from God that now you have it, you possess it per
Yeah.
se, but your job is to now turn around and use it to help somebody in the kingdom, in your community.
Yeah.
That is why it was given to you.
In the
So you're
first
the
place.
answer to somebody's problem, which is something
Yeah.
I teach on and something that I actually, you know, help people with. So for me, it was okay. I'm doing this business and I'm going along. It's growing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm in where I'm supposed to be. Then I came to the realization. I'm talking recently, so this is
Okay.
fresh.
All right.
I read Matthew 25, 14 through 30.
Okay.
Uh, and if you get into that, it is the story of the master
Hmm.
and the three servants.
Yeah, talents. Yeah.
That's right. So talents, when I was growing up, I always thought talents was like, for example, if God gave me the ability to play the piano,
Yeah.
and I go and multiply that, now I can play the trumpet,
Okay.
which I actually did. And then I learned how to play the trombone, which I
Okay.
actually did. And then I turned around and learned how to arrange music for marching bands, which I actually
Nice.
did. So I'm taking what he gave me
And multiplying it.
and multiplying. So I
Right.
thought that's what that meant.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I get that, right? Well, the key part of that now with the journey I'm on with this is I looked at it again with a whole different lens, and this was the lens.
Okay.
Master gave the money to the servants when he left.
Okay.
But here's the thing that people don't talk about that struck me. It was still the master's money.
Gotcha.
So when he gave it to the servant, he didn't give it to the servant for the servant to have. A lot
Gotcha.
of people will preach that way and
Yeah.
say, hey, he gave him the money and it's now their money. No,
Okay.
he said, I'm giving you this money, and I'm paraphrasing it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But he gave him the money and said, go take care of this for me until I come back and give me back
Right.
what you did with it. See,
Nice.
you read the whole thing.
It's a big difference. You're a steward of it now. Right.
Yeah, and that's where I want to get to.
Yeah.
So the biblical principle that I was struggling with is my business,
Yeah.
right? I now say, well, it's not my business, it's God's business.
Okay.
Because he gave me the business when I left the company.
Yeah.
Because he knew that I was supposed to be one who builds businesses.
Gotcha.
That's what I said, walking what I was supposed to be.
Okay.
Right. So then the issue I was having was, well, I wasn't treating it like it was his. I was treating it like it was mine.
Okay. That's a big
See, that's the
difference.
thing that's the same thing with the gift, right? So
Yeah.
if you give a gift, you say it's your gift. I have stopped saying it's my gift.
Okay.
Because it's not. I'm just the steward over the gift I was given.
Right.
Just like the business was given to me. So the
Yeah.
principle there is, if you read through the whole thing, this, as you know, the servants go out, hold on, according to their ability.
Okay.
So if God gave me a multi-million-dollar business,
Yeah.
and it's his business, and it's supposed to be at that level, then the ability part is the thing I have the responsibility of.
Gotcha. Okay.
As well. So now you can't see it with the cameras facing this way, but
Yeah.
I got books over here. I got bookshelves. I got audio books. I got everything on how to build and cultivate the business. In this case, executive recruiting,
Yeah.
HR consulting, fractional HR, all that. I have that to increase my ability to multiply the thing, which is the business he gave me that belongs to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing now. It's something we always say, but I don't know if we really understand what we're saying. When we say everything belongs to God, everything belongs to God, he gives everything. Well, if it does, and you really believe what you said, then you have to treat it like it's his.
Right.
Your car, your house, your spouse, your relationships, your business, your money, all that. If it all belongs to him,
Yeah.
then it doesn't belong to you. You need to treat it like it's somebody else's.
Right. Right.
Because as soon as you treat it like it's yours, then you get mad when something happens.
Gotcha.
And you out of order. And you
Gotcha.
got out of order because
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
So that's what I would say about that, as far as like the biblical principle.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's stewardship, truly stewardship, and my job is to multiply it and give it back better than it was given to me.
Okay.
Then my responsibility is to increase my ability.
Okay. So that's interesting. Actually, a couple things. One thing, you talk about the gift, God gave you the gift, and you know that it's part of who you are, your passion, your purpose, because it's designed for someone else. But I remember reading one of your posts that I thought was real interesting, but how cool is it to be able to have a gift that you give away, but you still enjoy the process of it. Okay, that's one part of it.
Right.
But here's the
Right.
question I had. How do you know? So okay, you said you got to treat it like it's his business. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
what is the difference in that? I mean, what do you do differently? Uh, with the mindset of it's your business versus my business. How does that look different?
For example, I'll give you something that I do my best to do, and I think I haven't missed this.
Yeah.
I tithe my business income
Okay. Gotcha.
as an example.
Okay.
So some people in business will say that's crazy.
Okay.
I say it doesn't belong to me.
Gotcha.
So just like we teach, the whole, and some people are with tithing or not. I'm not
Yeah.
into that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what works for me.
Yeah. Right. Sure.
But when I get my income, when I get paid from clients, the
Yeah.
first thing I do, 10% goes to my local church.
Nice.
Period.
Nice.
Every time I get a client check.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about me, what I get.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
talking a client check.
To the company. It's
So
kind to the company.
and it comes straight from the company, goes straight to the church.
Gotcha.
Has been since I've started.
Okay.
So you say,
Nice.
okay, well, everybody in accounting and finance would say, dude, you're a startup, you're a company, you just gonna do that. I said, well, what's the difference between that and me giving to what I believe in than
Yeah.
companies having foundations and
Oh, sure.
philanthropic efforts, and they're giving millions to United Way and all these other places, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you're still given to philanthropy if you want to call it that. But for me and the business model I have,
Yeah.
because it doesn't belong to me, the business itself, it belongs to
Yeah.
God, then what comes out of the business goes back to him
I like
as
that.
a tribute
Yeah.
and a thank you
Thank you.
for
Right.
giving me the business.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So that's one way to demonstrate
Sure, that makes a lot
something
of
like that.
sense. It's like you said, thank you for allowing me to keep the other 90. I mean, it's like you're giving me this, you know what I mean? It's yeah, no,
Right.
and we could stay
Right,
on that
right.
topic all day, but I hear what you're saying, and that's a different mindset. I love that. I love that. So
Yeah.
you mentioned community, and that leads me to my next question. I want to know what role has community played in your spiritual journey, in your journey of expansion and growth, and then how do you actively engage with fellow believers to help increase your relationship with God and with other people?
Oh man, that's a great question. I don't think you can have a relationship with God without other people. That is factual.
Okay.
But the reality of that
Yeah.
is I think that you need community to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Not only to hold you accountable, but to support you
Supports you. Yeah.
in your journey.
Yeah.
Anybody who's just, saying I'm gonna be by myself, it's just me and God, there's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
That's
a
a
problem.
problem. Because if that's the case, then why do we have churches? Why do we even
Right.
have ministries? If
Yeah.
you and him would just go off by yourself and
Yeah.
just, connect and stuff. I think for me, community is how I learned to not only be a better father, a better husband, in some cases, an entrepreneur. I actually
Yeah.
am dedicating part of my life, or really my life, to helping more entrepreneurs in church be entrepreneurs.
Nice.
I really am. Part of that is because I think that if I go back to, when the Bible's written and I look at the context around that,
Yeah.
I think everybody was one.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it and really break it
Sure.
down,
Yeah.
everybody, the wealth was not necessarily gold. The wealth was how many head of cattle you had.
Right.
I mean, it had goats you had,
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. So you raise what you needed for yourself, and any abundance you had,
Yeah.
you could either give it away, right? So we got the offerings
Yeah.
that we do on the altar, or you did the barter thing and you exchanged what you had for
Yeah.
something you didn't have, which to me is the beginning of this whole thing with a marketplace. I mean, that's where the marketplace comes from.
Yeah.
That ability to bring what you bring to a place, exchange it for what you don't have. I mean, so this is that's the oldest system
Yeah, sure,
in the
sure.
world. So with that, it's like, okay, well, how can you not do that, or better, how can you do that, I should say, without community?
Yeah,
Because everybody's bringing their needs together and helping each other out. So out of that is where we get our prosperity, or our
100%.
ability, yeah, to connect, and it's a wealth that's built on, there's three types of currency to me.
Yeah,
One of those, money. So money had to be invented in order to help with some of that exchange, to
okay,
keep things at the right level and the right exchange rates, and parity.
sure.
But you also exchange value.
Yeah,
And then now it's getting to the point that, the older I get, my currency is energy.
good point. Very good point.
And I'm recently kind of walking in that a little bit.
Yeah,
This is not new age or nothing like that, but
yeah,
it's
I hear you.
more, you know what I'm saying? It's more like,
Yes,
okay, people used to talk about time and money.
yes.
You exchange your time for money. But I was listening to something the other day, which has got me kind of changed about that. Well, time is something, if you manage time, can you increase it or decrease it? And you really can't increase or decrease time.
Yeah,
Time stays the same
sure.
yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So if
Right.
you can't really change the, I'll say, denomination of time,
Yeah,
then what you really are saying is the energy that you could put into something is what you're exchanging. So if I have high energy, I
yeah,
can go work for 18 hours and make more money because
sure.
time doesn't change. I just spent 18 hours versus 12. Now, if I increase my skills and now I can do something because I have more skills in 10 hours versus 18 hours,
Yeah,
people will say, "Well, I increased the time that I have." You did and you didn't.
yeah.
You basically were more efficient,
More
but you're
efficient.
now more efficient with your energy,
Yeah,
and the output is better in a shorter duration than a longer one. But you didn't change the unit of measure for the duration of time.
100%. I'm with you 100%.
Okay.
That's a great way to look at that. That's a great way to look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like looking at it that way now. The older I get, the less energy I have.
Yeah, because right, you got a limited amount, and right, your ability to use it better. And I think the whole idea of the mindset of optimization, you know what I mean? That's kind of that reminds me of what Paul said when he was saying that how, in my own words, he wasn't tripping about adversity and challenges, and had got to the point
Right.
where he would turn weaknesses. I'm almost looking forward to it because it turned into the strength. And like you were saying there, you had to kind of think about, well, man, well, how does that work? How do you turn weakness into strength? But it's the mindset. And if you're thinking about it, like if you're approaching adversity like a weightlifter looks at a heavy weight as an example, to him
Right.
or her, that's weakness if you just
Right.
walk away from it. But if you use it and optimize that opportunity, gain strength from it, now all of a sudden, you gain something out of it. So I think you're right. I think it's all having to do with the mindset and just how you look at things. So tell me now. I see all them keyboards back there. How many keyboards do you have, man?
Today, today, I just got two. I
You
just
got two.
got two.
All right, all right. Well, I don't see the trombone and the trumpet back there, or the marching bands. What school to go? You grew up in the South, right?
Yeah, I went to North Carolina A&T State University.
Okay. Do they have a marching band there?
Oh yes.
Okay, all right.
I had a great one too. In fact, I think in the last year or so, they were named number 1 band in all HBCUs.
Is that right?
Recently,
Okay.
I saw that, and let's see if you're going to quote my source here. Trying to remember if that was U.S. News and Report or was that the Honda band battle of
Hmm.
the bands that usually happens in Atlanta,
Yeah, yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
down. It's one of those where they were named like the number one band. Usually it's between them and Florida A&M and
Okay.
some other ones.
Okay.
I
Interesting.
could get into a whole list,
Oh, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you
but
can.
yeah. So that's where I went to school.
So, I went to school down south. I went to Dillard University, but that's not a marching
Oh
band
yeah,
school
Dylan. I
and all
know.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, my point, I'm getting way off base. My point was that I wanted to find out about your purpose and how you discovered. How did you discover, who you are, your purpose, and what advice would you give to people that are still struggling to sort of find a deeper sense of meaning and satisfaction in their life?
Sure. I think you have to start with, I think you got to start with, when you talk about purpose,
Yeah.
what it is that you were given and
Okay.
who you are. You got to figure out what that is. The thing that you do that is, I'm not going to say the easiest,
Yeah.
but I'll
Yeah.
say the thing that you do that allows you to operate and be the best person you could be
Okay.
as you do whatever this is. That's one of the things I would start with.
Okay.
I'd start with that. And then I would work through that to determine, is it something that I'm, can make a living from?
Yeah.
Something I just need to just do? Is it, I don't like necessarily, I kind of do, but I don't. The side hustle thing, right?
Okay. All
So if
right.
is it something that you say, all right, well, while I'm doing this thing I'm in, let me go and try some things around this. I think you have to experiment and fail. Now that part is true.
Okay.
Even in the entrepreneur space, you got to experiment and fail and learn from what you fail from,
Okay.
and that gets you closer and closer to who you're supposed to be. So for me, I'm going through corporate 24, 25 years, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Now I don't have a job. I said, so what is it that
Mm.
I did in those spaces that are things? Here's the thought. What are the things that no one can take from you?
Gotcha. Nice.
What are things that you can do that no one can take from you? Okay. And then with that, okay, well, that's what you know, that's what you have.
Yeah.
And that begins to be what you are, right? Okay, no problem. So now the question is, can you do that and be happy with what that is? Now,
Gotcha.
that's a little bit of a change. I'll
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
you a case in point. So
Okay.
for 25 years, I was in technology and IT,
Okay.
engineering degree first, and I worked in that, and I thought I was good at it.
Okay.
Was I passionate about it? I don't know if I would say I was passionate about it. I would say that I enjoyed it,
Okay.
and it was a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then when I started getting into recruiting and working with people and then starting to coach people
Yeah.
and helping them figure out who they were supposed to be, one of the things I live by is, if I'm in your life, my job is to make you better than I found you.
Okay. Nice.
That's purpose.
Yeah. That is purpose.
Just the way I said that, right? So
Yes.
so so if I believe my job is to make you better than what I found you,
Yeah.
then everything else becomes, as a life journey, it becomes, well, how do I now increase my ability so that
Gotcha.
what I'm giving now, or what I am giving out from the gift I was given,
Yeah.
now has a twofold, tenfold, hundredfold, 30, 60, 100-fold
Right.
return
Okay.
on what I'm giving out. Now I'm walking in purpose. And
Okay.
purpose really doesn't necessarily equate to money.
Good point.
Purpose equates to what you're supposed to do. And one way, I think I posted this in one place. I said, this is how I measure success. I got this from somewhere else. I can't remember where I got it from, but it made
Yeah.
sense to me. It's a mathematical equation.
Okay.
Success is simply equal to what you did divided by what you could have done.
Okay. I like that.
So now purpose becomes, well, as far as success
Yeah.
and purpose, I know I'm walking in my purpose and doing it right when what I've done, once I found out what that is,
Yeah.
compared to what I could have done, is close to, mathematically, one. So I'm doing everything I should be doing.
Gotcha.
That to me is success, a high
Gotcha.
level of success. So that's how I get there, and I coach people on that. Just first of all, you got to ask people what they like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to ask them, okay, here's a framework I'll give you that I've used for years.
Okay.
Comes from Japan. It's called the Ikigai. I think I said it, Ikigai.
Okay.
Okay. So with the Ikigai, the Japanese have this framework and it's made up of four things.
Okay.
It's what you love to do, what you're good at, what you can get paid for,
Okay.
and what the world needs.
Wow.
So if
Interesting.
you Google this, yeah, if you Google this, you'll see a Venn diagram. It's really two. Well, it's okay. A Venn diagram is usually two circles where they overlap, right?
Okay. Yes.
So this Ikigai model is four circles that overlap like the Venn diagram, and in the
Okay.
middle is where all four things overlap in the very very middle. That's what they call reason for being. That's the translation for that word. So your
Wow.
reason for being is where all four of those come together. So what I would do practically, now I'm giving you like practical stuff.
No, I love it. Yes.
I would sit down with someone and we would go through that. I would say, okay, what is it that you love to do? No, really love to do. Not I like to do. No,
Yeah.
what do you love to do? What can you do in your sleep? What do you get up thinking about doing?
Yeah.
What do you not, you can't live without doing this kind of thing. Let's figure that out.
Okay.
Then let's figure out some things you could do that you could get paid to do. Because
Okay.
those aren't necessarily the same.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
not
Right.
necessarily mutually exclusive, but
Yeah.
they're not the same.
Yeah.
So, like, you could get paid to drive a bus,
Sure.
but that's not something you love to do, but you could get paid to do it, right?
Right. Sure.
So then you write down some things that you could get paid to do that are reasonable for you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, then what are you good at? You could be good at something and not get paid for it.
Yeah.
You could be good at something and not love it, right?
Yeah.
So you write those down. And then last thing is, just things you might be interested in solving as far as the problems of the world. So what does the world need?
Okay.
Whether that's, peace, hunger, uh, racism, any other isms, any
Right.
of those, any of the isms.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when you write all that down, hopefully you'll start to see maybe a pattern of something, some kind of something,
Okay.
job,
Yeah. Yeah.
role, whatever you want to call it, position that has all four of those in place.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of identifying your reason for being. And that's the thing you should be exploring because it will pay you, you'll love to do it, and you're good at it. Doesn't mean that you can't grow, just means that you're good at it.
Yeah.
and you can get better, but then you're solving a world problem.
Yeah. Sure.
So if all four of those come together, that's a wonderful start at, well, this is probably why I was put here.
That's killer, man. Because interesting. I mean, so many things. My mind is going all over the place. Number one, I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. So you were in IT, but now you're in HR. Now you're coaching
Yeah,
people, and I want to find
yeah.
out well where first. And I love the reason for being. So I'm from New Orleans originally. Okay, with a name like Thibodeaux, I can't be from too many other places. But in French, and my family and I learning to speak French is interesting. Being from New Orleans, can't speak French, but anyway, that's for another
Hey, I get
episode.
it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
but there's a French term for what you're talking about. It's called raison d'être, and it
Uh-huh.
means my reason for being. But
Raison
anyway,
d'être.
yeah,
Yeah,
raison d'être, yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so for you, I want to know. So where does the music fall in that then the diagram there? Where does music fall for you? And are you still interested in IT? I mean, and what
Well,
world problem are you solving? I mean, what how does that all fit for you?
so here's what happened for me. So when
Yeah,
I, first started, once I left corporate
yeah,
and I got into what was going uh with this whole, all right, what is next for me?
yeah.
Um, so here's the deal. I said, all right, well, what we got? I of course I love music, but here's the thing that music gave me. Music not only just gave me just music,
Yeah,
in and of itself. Music gave me the ability to connect with people.
gotcha.
Music also, especially in college, taught me entrepreneurship.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
I had to, so when I'm playing in, jazz, uh, the band and playing for churches and different things, there are opportunities to do events, and I got
Gotcha.
paid.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
let's use music for a second.
Okay.
So, I love music. Yes, since I was 4,
Wow.
as long as I
Okay.
can remember. So I loved it. Was I good at it? Well, some people say I'm good at it.
Yes. I would say you're good at it. I
So,
would say you're good at it. Yes.
so some people say I'm good at it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Can I get paid to do it? Yeah. As a
Yeah.
church musician, as a jazz musician, when I used to play downtown, the warehouse district early in the 2000s, met Prince and all that good stuff, played with some of his musicians. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can get
Yeah.
paid doing it. So, but now, what does the world need?
Okay.
So then you have to say, well, maybe the world needs peace. Maybe the world needs relaxation.
Yeah.
Maybe the world needs, the ability to just calm down and take a step back.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
if I use that as an example, then my purpose in all of that would be really to be a musician of some kind that is taken care of through music, that creates music that helps people relax.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that could be one of your purposes.
Sure.
You
Right.
see how I did that? So
Yeah.
so so how I did that with my recruiting business, which became like my what I'm doing for the rest of my life kind of thing.
Yeah.
I said, my job, like I said, is to make people better than they were when I found them. I said, how do I do that? Well, that could be coaching,
Yeah.
that could be teaching, which I've done almost 20 years now of adjunct work as well at all the
Hmm.
universities in Twin Cities.
Okay.
Also, with the coaching thing, I've got 2 coaching clients now
Gotcha.
with my business now. My business.
Okay.
I said, okay, I can coach people. I think I naturally know how to sell without being a salesperson.
Gotcha.
That's gift though. I
Sure.
think that's
Okay.
because selling really is educating a person on why you can help them.
Good
That's what sales,
definition.
at least that's what it should be.
Yeah.
It should be educating people on why what you have to offer helps them. And you let them make the decision on why they should buy.
Got it.
You're not forcing them to buy. You're just saying, hey, you have this problem. I understand your problem. My
Yeah.
solution is the best way to solve your problem. Do you want to try it?
Yeah.
It's up to you to make the call. So that's what sales should be, right?
Yeah.
So I think that I sell, I think I teach, I think that I help people get better. So all of that became, well, I can do that with recruiting. I can do that with consulting.
Yeah.
I can do that with coaching. So my business is built on all of that. All
Gotcha.
of it. So I'm
Gotcha.
living my purpose and doing that in a way to help other people.
Got it. Yeah, I love that the diagram. I mean, as you were saying those things, I'm going through my head, okay, oh yeah, okay, I'm check, check, check. And
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like now I'm doing something, and we don't even have time to get into it. This might have to be a part 2, part 3. But
yeah.
I'm seeing that there's some things I'm working on right now that are I'm way more passionate about than any other stuff that I have been. And I'm the only box I didn't realize that it checked is solving a problem for what does the world need? And it's interesting how I don't know. It's one of those things like you were talking about before, like God is maybe you weren't moving quick enough or you were heading the wrong direction and he had to shut that off so that you can go, force you to go the other way kind of a thing.
Right,
And so I've
right.
I've experienced that too. So that's great. But I never was able to, I mean, what you did, how you articulate that was brilliant, man. That was brilliant. So
Thank you.
yeah, man, I love what you're saying. I want to know just a couple more things. And I'm going way off script here, but I'm loving talking with you.
It's okay. It's okay.
So in terms of coaching people, your clients, okay, I want to talk about self-image for a second.
Okay. Okay.
What do you do in I mean, what strategies and tools do you offer your people, and even that you use yourself to really cultivate a positive self-image? Because obviously that's important, seeing, you know what I mean, who you are and what
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
be, and also in terms of being better than where you are now, because they may not see that and you may see it, but they don't see it. So now you know how to guide them there. But anyway, what tools and strategies do you use to do that?
Oh, okay. So I think part of helping someone see a positive self-image
Yeah.
is to actually first start with this sort of tactic here, where what I do is I say, okay, has anybody called you something out your name, for example, that you didn't like?
Hmm.
Have they described you in a way that you didn't like? And then I get somebody to say, well, yeah. And let's say somebody called me lazy, for
Yeah.
example. We use the word lazy.
Yeah.
I said, okay. I said, do you want to know why you don't like somebody calling you lazy?
Hmm.
And let's say they say, well, yeah, I want to know why. I said, because there's part of whatever they said that you believe.
Hmm.
See, we get angry.
Wow. Wow.
We
Right
get
between your
angry.
eyes. Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying, I just had to let you know. We get
Yes.
angry. Well, here's the thing. Think about it. If I called you a tree,
Yeah. I'm not
you,
angry about that.
yeah, you a tree, man. You just a tree. You just an old wrinkly tree. No leaves, no fruit, nothing. You just a tree, right?
Right. Right.
You're
Right.
laughing because,
Right.
and that would be a natural response, but you're laughing because you don't identify with
Right.
what I called you.
Right.
You don't, there's no part of that you believe remotely.
Right. Right.
So it's funny to you.
Sure.
And it would be funny to anybody else if I
Yeah.
called you.
Right.
So that's proving my point.
Yeah. That is
so
100%.
so as soon as when you're working with people like that, um, and you dig into that a little bit, you try to figure out, well, why is it they believe what someone's saying about them?
Okay.
So when you get to that, that's when it's like, oh, so you might have had something happen in your life where maybe somebody called you lazy or continuously called you lazy to the point that you believed it because they
Gotcha.
kept calling you that.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
they called you, let's say, dark, the whole dark skin, light skin
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm from New Orleans. I know all about that. Yes.
You
Yes.
know, oh, you
Yeah.
dark, you dark, you dark, you dark, you
Right.
dark, or
Right.
you like bright, you like bright, you like bright, to the point where people just they don't like when people say it. Well, it's because there's a part of that they believe. So start there. Positive image is, well, what do you really believe about yourself that no one has fed you?
Wow.
Ask that question.
Yeah.
So if somebody keeps telling you, they said, let's say you overlook got some pounds on you, and they say you're overweight. Do you really believe you're overweight? Well, yeah, I think I'm overweight. Oh, so when somebody calls you overweight and you believe you're overweight, you get mad. Well, let's talk about a positive image around that. What if you're just healthy right now? And here's the thing: if it's a point where you want to make a change,
Yeah.
right? I think you have to embrace where you are. Somebody said this: change happens when the pain of change is less than the pain of staying the same.
Wow. That's serious. You're right.
So a positive image starts to form when you say, okay, well, let's believe what we should look like and how we
Yeah.
should feel and be. And if that's not what we are right now, let's let the pain of change, which would be going to the gym,
Yeah.
be less than the pain of staying the same, which is being mad that every time somebody say you fat,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
like, or
Right.
the pain of staying the same, meaning you got all these challenges health wise and all these other things going on.
Yeah.
There's a pain associated, there's a cost associated with that. So the cost of staying the same, when that is more than the cost or pain of changing, you change. So the image has to now go with that
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
that's how you get people to have a positive image. You get them first to see them the way they should be seen to themselves.
Yeah.
And the best thing, it was just we're talking about, God in the Bible.
Yeah.
Chapter 2, I think in Genesis talks about, let us go make man in our image. So if you really believe that,
Yeah.
you're in the image of God, not necessarily the specific image, because people want to
Yeah.
get hung up
Yeah. Oh,
sometimes.
sure. Yeah.
But as far as I am in the image of God, phenotype and all that, whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
genotype, whatever. If I'm in the image of God, nothing's wrong with me because God is perfect.
Right.
Start with
Right.
that. Start planting that seed
Yeah.
with people. You were created for a purpose. You were created and uniquely designed by God. I hear it and see it on the internet all the time
Oh,
on different
sure. Yeah,
things,
yeah,
right? But no, do you really believe that?
yeah,
Is the question,
yeah,
right? Do you really believe it? So you start with that. I look like God.
yeah.
Okay,
Right.
if I look like God, that's a good thing.
That's a very good thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I look
That
like the diversity of God and his greatness. And his mind is not my mind. His thoughts are higher than my thoughts. And he is uniquely made because he was here before, now, and evermore, and will be. So if
yes.
that is who I am fashioned like,
Yeah. Yeah.
then I don't see why I wouldn't have a positive self
Yeah.
image.
Yeah. I love that. And I think, I mean, that actually leads to my last question I want to ask you, but
Yeah.
one of my favorite verses, actually I got a bunch of them, just like I'm sure you do, but because I want to find out what the one Bible promise is that has really helped to shape, your life, helped to, you overcome challenges, helped to make you the,
Mhm.
the man of faith that you are. And mine has to do with kind of what you're talking about. It's in 2 Corinthians 3:18, where Paul, again in my words, he's basically saying when you look in the Bible, you look in the Bible like a mirror,
Yeah.
then you're not going to see how you look today. You're going to see how God sees you, and then the Holy Spirit is going to shape you into that image. And so, just like I said, that's God is the perfect image. We're like Him, so yeah, I'm perfect. But it's just spending enough time in the Word, to tell you believe it. Like I said, been calling you fat. Maybe you do need to lose a few pounds. Okay, great. But look at it from a different perspective. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm about to sign up for your coaching program. I need to get to but we talk about that in another episode. But anyway, so tell me, man, what is your like the number one scripture that has, like I said, was super instrumental for you, shaping your life, helping you overcome obstacles, all of that stuff. What is the one scripture?
Man, you said one.
I know.
Man.
Give me a couple. If there's a few, you can hit me with a few of them.
Well, uh, I would say, is it Third John 1? I think it's Third John 1.
Okay.
That I'm thinking about when it talks about I wish that you
Hmm.
prospereth
Prosper being health.
as your and prosper in health and as your soul
Yes.
prosper. The reason that is one of my favorites is because we got prosperity kind of wrong, and
Okay.
I know there are people like that preach prosperity and that's
Yeah.
all they preach.
Right. Right.
But there's a prosperity in living this way that hopefully it should attract people not necessarily because of the materialistic things,
Yeah.
but it should attract people because people who put God first and all these things are added unto you. That's
Yeah.
another one, but
Yeah.
we seek it first. But if you seek him first, the life you create in seeking him
Yeah.
makes room
Yeah.
for these things to come
Right.
because you're putting him first. And when you're putting him first, what you're saying is,
Yeah.
hey, I can be trusted with whatever it is you're going to give me because you're still first. This
Right.
is why I had to go through this sort of journey with my business to say it was his.
Right. The steward. Right. You're a
Part of the reason,
steward.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
steward thing became, oh, really, really important because it's like, oh, wait a minute. Seek ye first, kingdom of God, all these things be added to you.
Yeah.
Well, I got to remember if I seek him first, then I'm going to do with what he gave me what he wants done
That's right. Sure.
and give it back to him the way it should be given back to him.
Right.
Right? So,
Exactly.
so I would say that, and then, and I don't know if this is a direct quote,
Yeah.
but I have said this, and I think it's somewhere later on in the New Testament when, and I'm gonna paraphrase it because,
Yeah. Sure.
but I've heard this and I've said this myself. We should be living epistles read among men.
Yeah.
I think that's later in the book somewhere. I got to remember where I got
Yeah.
that from.
Yeah.
But basically, it was you should live your life before men so that if no one ever goes to church, they went to church when they met you.
Yeah, they could read
I
you,
ain't
read
talking
your life.
about
Yeah.
right, and I ain't talking about preaching to them. I
Oh,
ain't talking
right.
about.
Right. You ain't saying nothing.
I'm
You're talking about
just
look at your life. I'm seeing it. I'm reading it.
I'm looking at your life.
That's
I'm
right.
looking at how you carry yourself. I'm looking at
Yes.
the adversity you've gone through, how
Yeah.
you go through that. I'm looking at how you take care of your family, or how you treat your children, your wife, your
Wow.
spouse, whatever. I'm looking at how you go to church and you support the church and you volunteer and you give of your treasure, talent, and
Yeah.
time, so that you can make something happen and help sustain some other vision.
Sure.
You have a vision.
Right. Right. Number
Write the
one.
vision, make it plain so the
Yeah.
people will see
Yeah.
it and run.
Yeah.
Right. So you have a vision. God gave you that vision and you walking it out. That to me, when you say living epistles ran among men, if
Yeah.
we had more people do that versus beat people over the head with the Bible or beat
I
people over the
know.
head with something else,
Yeah. It was
uh, saying,
right.
yeah, you need to go to that right there.
Right.
The more you live it, the more people are like, there's something about that person. What is it about that person? Then you ask me, then I can say, well,
Yeah.
I'm this way because this is
Right.
what I believe, and this is how I live, and this is my faith, and you can do this too. Silver and gold have us none.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what we have, we will give it to you. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So yeah, I definitely start with, I think it's 3rd John, uh, 1:1 and 2.
Yeah, I
So
know what you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you're hitting on the head. Man, you are dropping some knowledge bombs, man. Yeah, I love that. And because, yeah, somebody looks at your life and, they can, your life is bringing glory to God and you're advertising for God. And it's like, I want to be like you. In fact, I'll say this and I'm gonna let you run, man, because I'll have you here for another couple hours. Um, that the highest form, so the lowest form of leadership is positional, where
Yes.
you got there
Yes.
before I did, so now you're
Yes.
my boss. But the highest
Yes.
form is where somebody wants to follow you because they know that their life is going to be better. It's like just like we talk about, like your tagline, you're making somebody's life better. I see that, I believe that, so I want to follow you because of that. And that's really the highest form of leadership. And like you said, you don't even have to say it. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at your life in the background. I'm like, man, I got to talk to this guy. I got to find out what's going on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
That's it.
exactly what
That's
you're
it.
talking about. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Man,
That's the
David.
best kind of leadership though,
Oh,
because
yes.
anything that's authoritative,
Oh, yeah.
authoritarian, I think maybe
Yeah.
is what that's called, position based,
Yeah.
you know, not man, let
You're
me tell you,
chasing people away. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
leadership is oh oh my God. I had a great definition of leadership. I can't quote it though. It's so good. It was from Miles too. I heard
Oh,
it the other day.
send it to me when you
Man,
find it, man. Send it to me.
I'll send it to you. It's on
Okay.
one of my Instagram posts.
Okay.
Because it has he said it took him 30 years to come up with one sentence.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my God. And oh, I wish I could quote it. I wish I could quote it.
No
I
problem.
wrote it.
Find it and
Oh,
send it to me. Yeah, send it to me,
I
man.
found
Miles
it
is a
and sent it
bad
to you.
dude. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because he's I might have to try to do it. It was something like leadership is when you get people to follow you based on a vision.
Hmm.
It's like birthed out of a vision, generated from a conviction, uh, all in faith and stuff. I'm messing it up. No, I'll find it. It
Yes.
was so. I had
Yeah.
to pull over when I heard it. That's
Wow.
how good it was
Okay.
about just leadership.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. It just made me question my leadership for like the last
Sure.
40 years. I will send it to you. I send it to you.
Nice.
I send it to you. I
Yeah, send
send
it to me. I appreciate that, man. Well, man, dude, we've gone way over the time. I'm off script. I'm just taking notes. I'm trying to find an application to the DEJ group. I'm trying to figure out
Yeah,
how I
man.
could be down, man. So
It's
and I
all
learned to play
good.
the
It's all
trumpet,
good.
play the keyboard. I want everything. I want the whole package. So yeah, but listen, man, I really appreciate you taking the time, and what you shared is super valuable. And let's do this
No
again, man.
worries.
I wanna, hook up again and figure out how else we can help each other. What I can do to help you further and you me. And so because community is super important. So thanks, man. I really
That's what it is.
appreciate it. Yeah.
No problem, my friend.
All right, we'll talk
Appreciate you.
again soon. All right, buddy. Take care now. Thank
Sounds
you.
good.
All right,
All
bye
right.
now.